Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Mayor Orr?
Here.
Councilor Baker?
Here.
Councilor Villagrana?
Here.
Councilor Smith?
Here.
Councilor Upton?
Here.
Councilor Henniger?
She's sick.
Councilor Vendetti?
Here. Okay. Everybody want one, huh? Okay, we need the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of December 7th, 2015.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of December 7th, 2015. I'll second.
There's an error.
Oh,
Okay.
it's okay.
That is on the second paragraph,
What page, please?
page 1.
They aren't numbered, but the first bit.
It's Mr. Bruter recommended the council do a workshop on doing a reverse on moratorium for marijuana. He only requested a moratorium
For hemp. Hemp.
the moratorium on marijuana testing facilities.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And hemp.
As noted.
That's just him.
That was for testing facilities.
Just get that in.
Testing facilities and hemp.
And so we had a first and second, right?
All right. Need to be amended?
Yes. Did you get it amended?
So as amended for your first and second?
Yeah, that's what I said, as amended.
To reflect the change on that second paragraph. Second on the amendment.
Okay. Roll call.
Councilor Upton?
Yes.
Councilor Baker?
Yes.
Councilor Vendetti?
Yes.
Councilor Smith?
Yes.
Councilor Villagrana?
Yes.
Mayor Orr?
Yes. Okay. And we had approval of the minutes, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's move on to visitors. We have visitors in the crowd that would like to speak. Well, I might get through this faster than I thought. Unfinished business. Need the second reading of ordinance 9-2015, amending the Florence Municipal Code to provide for a dedication of the 0.5 of the city sales tax and use tax to construction, reconstruction, repair, and maintenance of streets and other public right-of-ways within the corporate limits of the city after approval of the ballot question by voters on November 3rd, 2015, and provide the expiration thereafter.
I make a motion that we approve on second reading ordinance 9/2015, amending the Florence Municipal Code to provide for the dedication of 0.5% of city sales and use tax to construction, reconstruction, repair, and maintenance of streets and other public right-of-ways within the corporate limits of the city after approval of the consummate ballot questions by the voters on November 2015, and to provide for the expiration thereof.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and second roll call.
Councilor Villagrana?
Yes.
Councilor Baker?
Yes.
Councilor Vendetti?
Yes.
Councilor Upton?
Yes.
Councilor Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Orr?
Yes. Okay, second reading of ordinance 10-2015, amending the fee schedule for transit merchants of push cart vendors.
I make a motion that we approve on second reading of ordinance 10/2015, amending the fee schedule for transit merchants and push cart vendors.
Second.
First and second, any further discussion on this matter? No? Okay, roll call.
Councilor Villagrana?
Yes.
Councilor Baker?
Yes.
Councilor Vendetti?
Yes.
Councilor Upton?
Yes.
Councilor Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Orr?
Yes. Okay. Next, we have public hearing renewal of the 3-2 beer off-premises liquor license for Loaf and Jug 506 East Main Street. Dina, all the paperwork in order?
All the paperwork's in order. They had one call, but it wasn't for underage sales. It was a 911 call. All the fees have been paid and everything else looks good.
Good. Paul?
Question.
Okay.
Of the city, it does not show a call that we had in Florence. Shouldn't that be in there?
What call are we talking about?
Wait,
Unless I'm wrong.
they had a 911 open line. That was all that was 9/27/2015.
You got your police report in front of you in the packet, don't you?
I think that explains it.
Is that what you're asking, Paul?
Well, there was one for the city and one for the state. Is that not correct?
There was no state calls for them
Well, you got one written here city and one written here state.
because there's
I mean,
one,
this is what I have in my packet.
yes, sir. Well, there's
Okay,
one that
on the
goes to
state
the city
one-
and one that goes to the state.
On the state one, if you go, they should be the same. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, the first page, second page, you go down to almost 3/4 of the page, and it says, Local Drug, 673-0076, East Main Street, Florence, 81226, Fremont, but yet you don't find that one on the city one. And I was just wondering, am I wrong, or should it been included?
I can certainly take that back to the police department and have Nancy check that again to make sure that they all match up.
What difference does it make?
Well, it should be the same, they should be the same. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong.
I'm not.
I'm not sure where you are, Paul.
Yeah, sure.
Well, if you go to the pages that have loaf and jug on the far left, and then it has some numbers, and it has an address in the city, and if you go basically 2/3 of the way down, you see one that says the 506 East Main, Florence, 81226. It
Yeah.
has it there.
I do see
Fremont.
that. I'm happy to check on that.
So it's just, probably maybe it's just a clerical error, nothing to withhold on this license.
But Nancy had found that they didn't have a violation, or they did?
She had one 911 open line and they went and checked
Which
it out and
describes-
everything was okay.
And this paperwork didn't need to be in there, really, so.
One on the city,
And the one on the city,
Yeah, I would need if I was you.
I had it on
Just
both.
add this page and then add the police
But if
report
it's on there, I apologize.
and make it the
Well, there's, yeah, there,
Well, it's there.
it's on both of them, it's there.
I apologize. I just wanted to show them that they have it.
Okay,
It's my fault. I'm back.
okay.
So then, after having made that mistake, let me make a motion.
Well, we need to go into public hearing.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, to see if there's anyone in public hearing that would like to talk about this.
You want to open the public hearing?
Yeah. There is no one?
You gotta say we're open.
I did. I said, we're gonna open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the crowd that'd like to talk about this? No? Then we'll go back in the regular session. And now, let's have a motion.
If I may speak up for my mistakes, I make the motion that we approve the liquor or three-tier license renewal for Mini Mart Incorporated, located at 506 East Main Street, Florence, Colorado. Second.
Got a first, a second. Roll call, please.
Counselor Villagrana,
Yes.
Counselor Upton,
yes.
Counselor Vendetti,
Yes.
Counselor Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Orr.
Yes. Okay. From the beer to still smoking now. We having a public hearing, Still Smoking LLC, East Main Street. F and G, new hotel and restaurant liquor license.
Mayor,
Yes.
may I be excused, sir, because one of the owners is running my relation.
Okay,
So may I be excused, please?
yes.
Let the record reflect Mr. Villagrán is leaving the room.
And you want us to let us know when we're done with it, or just?
Yeah. We'll bring him back in.
Can't afford two mistakes.
Okay. Dina, you want to take this away?
Sure, we have the owner, Donna Como, here for public hearing. They have everything in, they've applied for a concurrent review. All of their fees have been paid, and their application is almost all the way through the process of being approved.
I think the one thing they're lacking is approval from the county health department, is that correct?
And you'll see an email from Sid Darden that
Said,
basically,
yeah, it's in the packet, I see.
So you might want to make any motion conditional upon county approval of the application.
And his did say that everything was okay, right?
as far as,
Yeah.
and still has some further things to do closer to opening, but
And further use on these, we don't need quite all this paperwork.
okay.
I'll go over with you what we need, but we shouldn't have all this
Okay.
in there. Okay?
All right.
And make it easier on you, and plus save a few more trees.
A few.
Okay? All right. So with that said, I need a motion.
Well, we need to go in.
Oh, we do go in public hearing. Is there anyone here from Still Smoking? Come on up front and talk about it then. We're just dying to know what you got to offer the city.
I'm Donna.
At the podium, and you need to state your name and address for me, please.
I'm Donna Como, and I live at 130 Garden Drive in Penrose, Colorado.
Okay.
And I'm Ashley Villagrana. I live at 226 G Street in Penrose, Colorado.
We're the owners of Still Smoking Barbecue, and we hope to bring a new family-oriented restaurant to your community, serving world-class barbecue. It's kind of started as a hobby for us, and we decided to turn it into a business because we had multiple requests for catering services and friends wanting us to do food for them. So we're hoping to be open the first week of January. Mr. Darden will complete his final health inspection on the 28th in the afternoon, but that all looks good so far. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask us. I can assure you our goal and agenda for that location in the future is not as a bar. We are a restaurant that has a bar to serve with our food, so we do not even intend to run the 2 a.m. hours. I'm too old and don't care to do that, so yeah. I hope that helps to alleviate any concerns that you might have, and if you have questions.
Larry?
Will you have a smoker right there, or will that be at off-premises or what?
We will have a cabinet smoker in the back, and it's a fully insulated unit. I'm well aware of the issues in the community with the previous location at Just Best. Our smoker is nothing of the nature that they were using. It's a very low smoke emitting smoker. It will run for anywhere from 5 to 7 hours on 5 logs. So it produces very little smoke, and it's not in a location where it should be of any concern. There's no one close enough by, and I know we had looked at the Just Best location, and we were very close to taking that spot, but some of the business owners on either side of us voiced concern that the smell and the odor of the smoke got into their product, their antiques, their blankets and pillows. And so we decided, why would you do that? You don't want to upset people. So the location we're at, we've checked with the residents behind us for the most part, and the businesses in that strip mall, and nobody seems to have any concern. Carl's Jr., of course, I don't think they're going to care because we smell their hamburgers all day and it makes us hungry. So I hope that kind of helps to explain It's
Well,
not,
what it was with theirs is when they turn on their swamp coolers, it sucked the smoke into them.
yeah. This
That's
you
the problem
should,
they had with it.
I don't think you'll have a whole lot of issue. I wish I had a better way to explain it. A cabinet smoker looks like a large box. And when I say it's fully insulated, it's got insulation panels and gaskets. So you're not going to have smoke coming out the doors or anywhere on the unit except out the pipe on the top. And it's going to be a very limited smoke flow. It's not going to be this big black plume that you associate with the big barrel smokers that you see.
And how tall is that?
It's, the smoker itself with the casters is probably about 6.5 feet tall.
And the exhaust pipe is beyond that?
I think the exhaust pipe on it might be about 12 inches. I'd have to confirm that for you to verify.
Okay.
Thank you.
See what I'm saying? Anyone else have any questions for them? Okay, well, we look forward to having you start up and get going.
All right,
We look
thank you.
Florence
forward to
needs
all of
more
you
good
coming in.
restaurants.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See if there's anybody else who wants to comment.
Okay, is there anyone else that wants to comment on it? Looks like everybody's in favor of having some barbecue restaurant. Okay, if there's no other further comment, we're back into regular session now, and I need a motion for this.
No further discussion.
No.
I did want to point out that in front of you, Dina put down a couple pages of signatures of folks from the neighborhood who are supportive of this application. That's part of the test under the statute. Actually, the test is, for those of you who haven't gone through this with a new license before, in Florence, because it's a fairly small community, we just define neighborhood as the city. And so from the application and from the comments from the public, you're to glean the wishes of the adult inhabitants of the neighborhood and to find that there's an appropriate concentration of such outlets in the neighborhood. Those are the two tests that the statute asks you to analyze in approving the application.
Okay. Can I get a motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion that we approve the Colorado Liquor Retail License application for Steel Smoking LLC. Business is located at 401 East Main Street in Florence. And I'm making this on the condition that the health inspector, the county health inspector, he makes a final inspection and approves everything that is called for.
Okay.
A second.
We have a first and second. Roll call, please.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
Counselor Upton?
Yes?
Counselor Vendetti?
Yes.
Mayor Orr?
Yes. You gonna go fetch Paul? Don't have to hurry. Okay. Takes care of that one. Under new business now, we need to set a public hearing renewal of hotel and restaurant liquor license for Max Pub and Grill at 114 East Main. Public hearing date, January 4th, 2015 at 7 p.m.
It's actually going to be 16.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oops, we'll fix that real quick. Yeah, that's gonna be a little hard to do, isn't it? January 4th, 2015. Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion that we set a public hearing. Are you ready for that?
Let's go out to the public first and see if there's any comments on this.
No, you do that at the public hearing.
All we're doing is setting the hearing.
Yeah. Okay. Just set it then.
Just make a motion that we set a public hearing for the renewal of the hotel and restaurant liquor license at Max Pub and Grill, 114 East Main Street on January 4th, 2016.
There you go. Do we have a second? Do we have a second? Did you get the second? Okay, roll call.
Counselor Upton?
Yes.
Counselor Villagrana?
Yes.
Counselor Vendetti?
Yes.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Mayor Orr?
Yes. How come so many liquor licenses tonight? Whoa.
This one has this.
Okay, boy. It's a lot of liquor licenses. Set a public hearing, new application for Colorado Liquor Sales Room. Florence Brewing Company, 200 South Pikes Peak. Now I'm going to catch this one. Public hearing January 4th, 2016. Although it says 15, we'll go with 60. 7 p.m.
Is that a motion?
Yeah. Sort of.
Make a motion if you want.
Okay. That'll be fine with me. We'll get it done. That much less work. Roll call.
Mayor Orr?
Yes.
Counselor Villagrana?
Yes.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
Counselor Upton?
Yes.
Counselor Vendetti?
Yes.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Okay, on to the second page. This is that. Yeah. Okay, so those are good. I just want to make sure before we read them all. Okay, resolution 23-2015, a resolution budgeting and appropriating additional sums of money to defray expenses in excess of the amount budgeted for general fund, water fund, police, equipment, supplies fund, conservation trust fund, capital acquisitions, and improvement fund, and the bond series of the 2013 fund of the City of Florence, Colorado, for the budget year beginning January 1st, 2015, and ending December 31st, 2015. Okay, Mary?
Okay, what I'm basically doing is looking at anything that looks like there's gonna have more expenses than what we had budgeted. The general fund, we are quite a bit under on expenses for the year, so I did not appropriate any additional funds. I did appropriate additional $240,309 for the water fund. Those available from carryover revenues. And basically, we did not budget enough for the east tank roof that would come out of the water fund. Police equipment supplies, I'm budgeting an additional $32,000. That is already available from the sale of DRMO assets. So there's revenue to offset those expenses. Capital project fund is $100,000, which is available from transfer from the community projects fund and from grant revenues. Again, we're not budgeted. And the bond series is basically appropriating additional $700. The $700 is available from the bond series with carryover revenues from the bond series from 2013. So that should even out the budget for 2015 in expenses.
Okay. Any further discussion on it? No glitches?
I'll make the motion that we approve Resolution 23, 2015, budgeting and appropriating additional sums of money to defray expenses in excess of the amount budgeted for the general fund, water fund, police equipment, supplies fund, conservation trust fund, capital acquisition and improvement fund, and the bond series of 2013 fund of the City of Florence, Colorado, for the budget year beginning January 1st, 2016?
2015.
For this year. Yeah.
End of the year.
2015 and ending December 31st, 2015.
Second.
We had 2 seconds there, didn't we? Or was that 3 seconds?
We'll let Dana pick.
Yeah. call.
Counselor Villagrana?
Yes.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
Counselor Upton?
Yes.
Counselor Vendetti?
Yes.
Mayor Orr?
Yes. Okay, next is the annual appointments, to see if we still keep around some of these people that we got. The annual appointment, the first one is the city attorney.
Well, basically, as you saw in our last meeting, we had a letter from the city attorney saying he would like to be retained as city attorney. And we have a,
Tonight, we're just appointing, we do.
we're just appointing him, and then we do the numbers later, okay. So council, we're asking you to appoint the city attorney for another year.
I would consider it an honor.
It's only what, about 20-some now?
20 years?
Yeah.
23 or something like that.
I was gonna say, you've been around a long time.
Probably too long.
Okay.
I make a motion as stated.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and second. Roll call.
Counselor Villagrana?
Yes.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
Counselor Upton?
Yes.
Counselor Vendetti?
Yes.
Mayor Orr?
Yes.
Thank you.
I guess we're gonna keep you around for another year.
I accept.
There you go.
Okay, the next one, we're requesting that you reappoint Judge Larry Allen as our judge for 2016.
I'll make the motion.
Actually, that's a two-year
No.
term.
Oh,
It's a
okay,
two-year
term.
2016 and 2017.
Right.
I'll make a motion that we retain Judge Larry Allen for 2 years.
Second.
Second.
We got we already got a second.
No.
Further discussion?
Discussion was in turn request from Judge Allen on requesting consideration for a raise of some sort.
We've got the financial, I guess we'll bring that to the next meeting, is that what we're doing?
That comes.
But we took
just need
council's
the
direction
motion
on the percentage points, and so,
Both.
So then he did receive some kind of answer to the request.
he
He will start tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, roll call.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
Counselor Villagrana?
Yes.
Counselor Upton?
Yes.
Counselor Vendetti?
Yes.
Mayor Orr?
Yes.
I'll take another shot at city attorney here.
yeah.
Is there some competition?
Wow,
Ignore the second one.
we got 2 city attorneys? I didn't think we got
Brian's
that
just so
much.
good, he needed to be appointed. Official bank. It has been Rocky Mountain Bank, and we, at this point, leaving it, staff's recommendation is to leave it the same.
How about Mary's recommendation? Means she deals with it all.
I have no issues with Rocky Mountain. They have been very responsive to any needs that we have.
Okay.
Make a motion, we retain Rocky Mountain Bank as
Second.
official bank.
Second.
Got a first and second. Roll call.
Counselor Upton?
Yes.
Counselor Villagrana?
Yes.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
Counselor Vendetti?
Yes.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Mayor Orr?
Yes.
And the official posting place for city business is the front window of City Hall. The door.
And we don't want to change that probably, huh?
Unless you want to.
Seems to be a good spot.
Yeah,
Seems to be a good
it's
spot,
been a
right.
good spot for a while.
Oh, and the official, once you, it was, instead of the attorney's second one, was supposed to be newspaper.
Newspapers.
Yeah, both newspapers. So we need to write that in now.
Yeah, we should vote on
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
the spot first.
Which one are we voting on?
The official posting place.
I make a motion that we accept and vote on the official posting place for the city business, which is in front of the
Same place as always.
front door.
Second.
Okay, first and second.
Coun-
Roll call, please.
Counselor Villagrana?
Yes.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
Counselor Upton?
Yes.
Counselor Vendetti?
Yes.
Mayor Orr?
Yes. Now, the official newspaper for Florence.
Yeah, it has been the Florence Citizen, and this year we request that it remain the Florence Citizen.
Although you always name the record as a
Yeah.
backup
As a backup, yeah.
because of sometimes we have some timing issues with publications.
Plus what?
So the Citizen as the newspaper of record with the Daily Record as the backup.
Make a motion to that effect.
Second.
We didn't ask Bob, but I think he's okay.
As long as Bob's around, Okay. Have a first, second roll call.
Counselor Upton?
Yes.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Counselor Villagrana?
Yes.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
Counselor Vendetti?
Yes.
Mayor Orr?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, then we move on to board and committee vacancies. And all we're really doing here is essentially declaring the vacancies. For example, we know on the planning commission, the two people whose terms are up, we believe that they are going to reapply, and they might have already reapplied. But all you're doing right now is declaring the vacancies, we'll advertise them, and then we'll bring you candidates, hopefully at the first meeting in January.
That's for the planning commission.
For planning commission, Board of Zoning Adjustment, same thing.
So you need to
just
tell 'em.
Board of Zoning Adjustment, same thing. You're just essentially declaring the vacancy and tree board, and then we'll bring you candidates. We'll advertise it right away, and we'll bring you candidates if we get enough candidates, which we feel pretty certain that the two planning commissioners at least will reapply. Board of Zoning Adjustments, I don't know. It looks like they are going to reapply, and I do not know about tree board. Mayor, do you know?
Yeah. One of them that was vacant's taking it still, and I think we got that one covered. But what I'm gonna say is that people can still put in letters, just because these people are
I was going to say
re-upping.
the exact same thing.
They're re-upping, doesn't mean that they'll get it. Everybody needs to put in a letter. If you're interested in any of these committees, please put in a letter of interest to the City Hall.
Probably need a date on that. If you plan on
12/31.
appointing January 4, yeah, by the
Yeah.
letters
Have
of
them
interest by
apply
the end of the year.
Yeah. And that's what it says.
And if we don't have enough,
no, it
we'll
just
do it
says
again on the
terminated.
4th, asking
Yeah.
for more.
Okay?
So do you need a motion to declare these vacancies?
No.
No,
We're
Just a
good.
consensus.
we're good.
Okay.
We just need people to fill them up. Okay, mayor's report. I'm going to report on a few things that were going on downtown. There was the business is open out after hours, and a few things that's going on. It's really kept the downtown really going good. I think that stuff like this is really good for the whole community because it gets them together as a community, and the trees in the park and everything. So the more we can do like that, it brings the community that much closer, and I'm all for that, anything we can do. Okay? And I need committee reports next. None?
Not too many in December. Sorry.
Did you have a lot of neat committees you were on? Huh?
Well, we had FEDC last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'll do that under mine.
Okay. City attorney's report?
No, I think we are going to need an executive session after the regular session to discuss Mike's contract.
And we also want to discuss potential matter of litigation.
All right.
Oh, man. Okay,
I don't think either will be super long.
promise.
I'll do my
Is
best.
that all you have, Brian?
Yes, that's all.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Brian? Okay. All right. We'll go to the department heads. The police department, he's not
Yeah,
here.
he's not going to be able to be here right now.
Okay. Public Works report. I'm taking them in the order they're written down here.
Just a happy New Year's
Would you like me to explain
That's a
this?
hell of a-
Would you like me to kind of explain what's going on a little bit to people?
Well, you got them in lockdown, probably wouldn't hurt.
Well, to just put this as gently as possible to explain, we had, last night there was a shootout where an individual began shots fired in Florence. County sheriffs located him, chased him up the hill up to Cripple Creek. Basically, the story is he's decided that his life is forfeit and he's coming down to kill cops. So the cops have been a little bit busy dealing with that, and so we've had today a little more high security than we normally would here. So in case, we think we're pretty secure in here, but we're locking the doors just to be safe. So.
Okay. And Sam's good. Wade, being you're so anxious, we're gonna go ahead and let you.
I can't top that one, Mike. Couple of updates. So we had a planning commission meeting last week and a preservation commission meeting last week as well. And both of those we have really great boards now. I think when we first got here, there were a couple of issues and people cycled off. And both of those boards, people continually, everybody shows up to every meeting. And the main thing that we did with the planning commission is we had a series of interviews for our master plan consultants. If you remember, last year we talked about allocating a little bit of money to match a DOLA grant to hire somebody to help us complete our master plan update that hasn't been updated since 2006. We interviewed 4 firms. Almost everybody in the planning commission showed up to all those meetings. And in the planning commission meeting, we had a really good discussion. We had 2 front runners, Community Matters and McCool Development Systems, both of them great people that were interested in Florence. And after a long discussion, they made a motion to basically offer the work to Community Matters based on a couple of caveats, based on a couple of concerns that Mike and I had. We had that conversation and went well, so Planning Commission will be recommending to City Council to get under contract with Community Matters. They have, the three people on their firm have tons of state experience as well as national experience, and a couple of people have international economic development experience. So we're really lucky for the kind of small potatoes we had to throw at this project to have such good firms apply for that work. And then the other things that are going on are we're going to have 2 CDOT design projects going on. The RFP for design services for the Pikes Peak redesign is out right now, and we're starting to get a scope of work for the large design project for the East 11567 massive project to redo the highway, put in a water line, and study stormwater. So that's moving forward with the Department of Local Affairs. Any questions?
Would you mention that you also have a young lady now sitting in on the meetings?
Well, yeah, Mike set a high bar for her, and I think she jumped in and did a pretty good job at the Planning Commission. And when part of the RFP was to have their strategy for engaging citizens, older citizens and younger citizens who sometimes don't get engaged, and I'd sent her the proposals, and she just jumped in and had a bunch of good comments, I thought.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Wade. Does he want to do a report, or is he too busy? Would you like to do a report, or are you too busy?
Me?
Yeah.
I would not.
Okay. Okay, let's go Finance Officer report.
Basically, I'll just state that our November financials, when I completed them, we have a good, pretty comfortable bottom line going into the last month of the year. Some of we're like 500,000 under our expenses. The biggest chunk, and probably one of the better decisions, was having dispatch go where it's now located, because that's a huge savings in itself in expenses. The other thing is that programs have not extended. They've really tightened their budgets and, kept it. A couple things that happen when you lose people, and a biggest savings is in the health insurance line. If someone leaves and they were a family, and then you replace them with a single, that's pretty significant savings, and there's happened that in a couple different programs. So overall, the financials for November looked really, really good.
of sales tax?
Sales tax, the month of November was around 55. It's still running about 1.4%. I will bring
Over.
it to the next
Good.
meeting. December, it's really when it goes through December and what I see. Actually, it was October, so I still got 2 more months left before I report those, but through October, we're at 1.4%. September was at 65, and then it jumped down in October to 55, about 55, 56. So, but it's still a
Good.
record year.
Good deal.
So,
All right. Any questions for Mary? Okay. City clerk's report?
I don't really have a lot. I just want to say that I am very thankful to have gotten the city clerk job, and I definitely am on a little bit of a learning curve right now, and I appreciate your patience, and just that we have a really great team at the city, and I'm very thankful to be part of it.
We're proud to have you. Okay, water report.
Well, first of all, tomorrow is our big sanitary survey. I just got a agenda for tomorrow's survey going on. It's 5 pages full of everything that they're gonna go through and take a look at and evaluate. So we're as prepared as possible and excited for it tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be better than the last one. Also, I'd like to take this time and request that the council reconsider moving forward with earth engineering, doing the geotechnical stuff at the South Reservoirs. Excuse me. For several reasons. For one, earth engineering we have used many times before. They're familiar with our system and our reservoir projects and many of our projects. Not to mention that they are a very reputable company and consistently come in as low bid on big projects like this. Excuse me. As well as the fact that right now, having that back reservoir out of service until this geotechnical drilling and lab work gets done, it's affecting us as far as pumping costs are concerned. Right now, we're diverting anywhere from 1/2 to 1.5 CFS cubic feet per second of water from our creeks that pour into that back reservoir because we can't fill it until this is done. Another thing is that we are also postponing this timeline for the Phase 2 of the South Reservoir projects, and it's already been pushed back about another year. We can't do this project in the summer because we have to have one of the reservoirs out of service while it's being worked on, and that's in the summers when we have higher demand and need that water. So it's already been pushed to this time next year, assuming we keep this same timeline. Putting this out to bid for this small part of this phase is just going to push it back another couple of months. So I was just going to ask if you would reconsider moving forward with earth engineering.
And Brandon, earth engineering is not the Farnsworth Group. It's not Richard, it's a separate engineering group.
Correct.
We've utilized them, but it's not Farnsworth.
Correct.
And the only question I have for you is, how do you know that they're competitive if you're not going to go out for a bid system?
In the past, other projects that we've had people bid on or geotechnical consultants bid on, and they've consistently come in lower than the other guys, and like Smith Geotechnical is another one. We've also gone with other consultants, geotechnical consultants, for instance, on our Clearwell projects 5, maybe 6 years ago, and just from shoddy workmanship and whatnot, they were actually asked to leave the work site at the end of the job because they really screwed us up.
So the biggest thing that why you're pushing this is the timeline, right?
Yes, sir.
And what did Richard, have you had any discussions with Richard Saxton from Farnsworth about if he feels that this is a competitive bid, a competitive price?
Yes. The reason why he suggested Earth Engineering is because of their consistent competitive bids on projects, multi-million-dollar projects that he's currently working on. They just came in lowest bid on a big one up in Boulder, I'm pretty sure he said. And that's why he proposed this Earth Engineering, is because that's, in his opinion, that's the best one, not only price, but a reputable company that produces good work for us time and time again.
Good. We need to make this decision right away.
Well, I think if this is one of those decisions that if you want him to bid it, just tell him now, because if we postpone it, then that pushes it back that much further. So this one, to me, this is one of those things where if you're saying, no, we want to stick with our decision to bid, just say it now and he'll get working on the bid.
And we'll move forward with putting it out to bid.
Because losing 2 more weeks would not be good.
And that's why I asked you all those questions.
Sure.
About if you think it's competitive. I mean, if you're under the crunch and that need to get it done and that, and you feel that it's competitive, I'm fine with that. But like me and you've had this discussion before, we usually go out to bid on everything.
Yes, and I understand that, and I completely understand if you want to still continue to go out to bid, but in my opinion, time is becoming of the essence.
Okay.
We push this out another 8 weeks by the time the bid is awarded and this geotechnical work starts. That puts us another month out before, so now we're 3 months out. We're into the springtime when we need that reservoir. Then we have a whole nother 2 to 3 weeks of pumping time to fill that reservoir to where we can get it back into service. And we're into the summer at that point in time.
And there's no way you could have foreseen this and got that bid, competitive bid, long time back?
No, Richard got it to me as soon as he could.
Okay.
There were several steps in task order 56. I broke it down. The several steps that had to be accomplished before we could even get a scope of work for this part of the project, including approval from the state engineering office, and Mark Perry, the dam inspector for the state, as well as getting a topographical survey of the reservoir, finding the drain pipe, draining the reservoir. All this had to be done before we could get to this part of the project.
Okay, Paul?
This isn't on the agenda, and I thought that we had, at one point in time, we had decided it had to be on the agenda before we could vote on it.
Yeah, we're not voting on anything
It's so
early.
special that we can.
Well, you're not really voting on it. What Brandon's asking you to do is reconsider, because you didn't vote before. You just gave a consensus and said, no, send it out.
This is the first time he's brought it up to us.
No, it was at the last council.
2 weeks ago.
At the last council meeting, the
Yes, sir.
consensus.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were sitting at the table in there. I don't know if you were sleeping or not, but I presented it then, yes, 2 weeks ago.
Dick?
Okay, so we're able to do this, being as it hasn't been voted on, we can change.
Well,
Yeah, it's one where there is a legal exception to be able to do it with, I mean, like the mayor, I hate the idea of doing something without going out to bid, and I think Brandon feels the same way. But given,
the timeline.
unfortunately, there's this task order that we've been working through step by step, and now we're finally to that step. And we couldn't really go ahead because we didn't know what the dam inspector was going to order. Once we got the parameters from the dam inspector, that's when Richard said, you should just use these guys. That's where Brandon's at, saying, well, if we don't use them, we're going to lose 2 months, and that may push us, 2 years instead of 1 year for getting this project done.
Because for this drilling to be done, the reservoir needs to be out of service like it is right now. If we keep postponing this, going out to bid and whatnot, and we have to put that reservoir back into service for our summer high usage time, or high demand, then we're going to have to wait till next winter to be able to drain that reservoir again, not to mention wasting millions of gallons of raw water, but have to drain it again next winter to get this drilling done.
So it all comes down to that damn inspector.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hear what our city attorney has to say about this aspect.
The nature of the work